Thank you for that. Yeah, it's really funny because that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about listening, which is bizarre, really, when you think about it. This keeps moving. It's really difficult when somebody asks you what is the one thing, and I was kind of tempted to talk about bringing kingdom principles into culture and through culture to disciple the nation. I could go on and on about that, so don't get me started. But if I just had to come down on one thing, it would be actually listening. And I want to take you onto a journey with me to give you an impression what that is like, because there's nothing quite like it as far as I'm concerned. And I'm really indebted to the guys at the back who have taken my presentation, actually made it work from when it started not working, so I'm really grateful to them. And I think they've been doing a great job actually setting all this up and keeping everything running. So come with me on a journey, if you will. The day after tomorrow I will, if you let me, listen to you. We will say hello, perhaps for the first time, and how are you, and engage in small talk, which is a funny expression because how is it small opposed to other talk being large? And without realizing it, as we chat about the weather, the traffic and our surroundings, while we wait for the kettle to boil, to make a cup of tea or coffee, we are both gauging the temperature, not of the drink, but of the atmosphere, around us and between us, whether we are old friends or new. And unconsciously and instinctively, we are making up our mind if we can trust one another. For now we feel safe. We stay on the surface, aware that if we leave familiar and conventional territory, we don't know where it will take us. So the question, unconscious and unarticulated, is this: can I trust you? Trust you to be open and genuine, and for you to trust me to hold your words and, more importantly, your heart. And so we settle down, the conversation begins, and I start to ask you questions because I am here to hear you. I forget about myself, where I am at, my problems, my joys, my news, because I know the worth of suspending my story just for a while to only hear yours. I also know how important it is to set all judgment aside. I'm humble enough to know that my own worldview is narrow and limited. But I am excited about what we will find, what treasures we will unearth together, and I'm keen to get started. So I'll ask you random questions at first, in this direction and the other. There is a lot of surround noise at first, background voices from how your day has gone so far, the people and the circumstances which right now seem important and urgent, the list of things undone which hardly allow you to switch off, which demand your attention mercilessly. But gradually these things fade. They are significant, but they are not what we are here for. And all the time I'm listening to you, to the underlying tones and rhythms. So I ask you more questions about where you have been, the places you have travelled to externally and internally. You tell me about the past, growing up in or without a family, the things you have learned, the people who have shaped your lives, the highs and the lows, the triumphs and the failures. And out tumble the experiences which you can't help but share, those moments, encounters, and memories which seem to pop up unbidden, but nevertheless demanding to be spoken, longing to be heard. Some on the tip of your tongue, urgent and burning and waiting for the slightest permission to spill out, quicker than the thoughts it took to formulate their expression. Other thoughts take longer to bubble up, surprising and seemingly unimportant, from somewhere long forgotten or tucked away. And why they show up now, neither you nor I can tell. And all the time, I am listening to you, to the underlying tones and rhythms. I see you as well, and even your body, the way you breathe, the way you tilt your head and move your eyes as you form your thoughts into words is making a sound which adds to the sound your words are making. I listen to the ring of your voice, which is sometimes high and loud and full of energy, and at other times low and quiet and haunting. And all the time I am listening to you, to the underlying tones and rhythms. And I ask some more questions about what is important to you, the things that would hurt you if you or others compromise on them, the values which are dear to you. And I hear the pain that you have encountered at times, the disillusionment, the anger, the frustration, the sadness. And I don't mind, because I know they are part of our common human experience, and it is a relief for you to have permission to visit those places. And so together we sift through the rubble, through places of disconnect, places of being misunderstood by others, places where you have experienced violence being done to you and to your heart. And all the time I am listening to you, to the underlying tones and rhythms. And at some time in the conversation I know I will encounter a no entry sign, and I will respect it because I respect you, and I know that what is behind that sign is between you and your Maker, and this is not the time to go there. But we don't stay there either, because I know that pain is part of the journey, and that whatever you have encountered, whatever life has thrown at you, is not what you are about, not truly. I marvel at how you have coped, survived and overcome. I see the courage in you, the determination to keep going, because you know that there is more, and that the pain, if you will let it, can take you forward. And all the time I'm listening to you, to the underlying tones and rhythms. And so I ask you more questions, and then I'm beginning to glimpse something very precious, very faint at first and easily missed, but unmistakably occasional glimpses of eternity. You tell me about the dreams and hopes you have and the plans you have made, the things you are passionate about, the things that make you get up in the morning, the people that are dear to you, the people in whose lives you want to make a difference. You tell me about what breaks your heart and what you would like to change. You begin to look deep inside your heart, and you see dreams and possibilities and glorious impossibilities. And as you articulate them, you tell me that you have never told anyone else. And I know we are on holy ground, you and me and our Maker, because I know He put them there, the deep desires of your heart, of being you, of being yourself, not anyone else, and doing something, and out of that being that no one else could do, because no one could be and do like you. And just then, right at this moment, I'm aware of other voices, terrible noises, which all of a sudden seem to invade our journey together and threaten to shatter the space and the safety we have created. They come in the shape of well thought through arguments and reasonable excuses, of delays and distractions, of inadequacies, and a million reasons why not. They come in the shape of old familiar scripts which are running unbidden but unrelentless in your mind. They are ruthless lies and dangerous enemies, but they are familiar, and I can hear the temptation in your voice and in your shifting body to give in and to distract, because to go against them fills you with terror, and giving in to them is so much easier. And so I pray quietly, and I stand against these voices, and I tell you what you have told me. I tell you about the melody I am beginning to hear deep inside of you, which has captured me because of its irresistible beauty, its inspiring strength, and wild uniqueness. And because I can hear it, I can tell you about it, and then I can see the trace of a fleeting smile on your face, which tells me you have heard it too, unmistakably, breathtaking, the melody maker has himself put in your heart. But to embrace it, to celebrate it, would mean you stepping away from the voices and instead stepping into the light. It would mean you refusing to listen to the lifelong lies any longer. It would mean that you start to believe, truly believe, that you can be and were meant to be much more. That you have what it takes to follow your dreams. This requires tremendous courage, because what sounds easy is in fact incredibly hard, and to you it looks like stepping off a ledge. I can see the silent struggle on your face, which so eloquently and without words describes internal battle within you, the realization that you have to make a choice. And I refuse to be sidetracked or distracted. I refuse to let go, because I know I have this opportunity to fight for you, to fight with you, to fight for your melody to rise up and be heard, so that from this day onwards, you will decide to fight for it too. To see it grow and develop into something much bigger, because the melody is only the beginning. A melody that is meant to develop into a theme and countless variations, to be joined by harmonies and rhythms, some contrasting, others complementing. A melody which is not to be played or heard on its own. It's meant to join others, to swell to an amazing, indescribable sound. A symphony which creation itself yearns to hear. And it is beautiful, it is unique, and it is precious. Precious because it is life-giving to you and to others. It's the melody of liberty and redemption, wholeness and love, the kind of melody which brings direction on your journey, purpose where there is no meaning, and hope to the hopeless. And once heard and embraced, you will no longer be tempted to copy other melodies or hide the sound you are supposed to make. You will refuse to be drowned out by the busyness of life and the demands of the moment, because having heard it, you cannot settle for anything less. And even when you get sidetracked, you will eventually come back to this sound, knowing that it's in you, knowing that nothing else will do, knowing that this is what you are here for. And when you have joined in my awe and deep appreciation of the reflection of our Maker in you, when you have heard the melody in your heart and come to love and nurture it, I know that my job is done. And to see you walk away, your step lighter, your head held higher for a moment in time, at peace with yourself and your Maker, fills me with delight. And I know that we have had a glimpse of eternity, of the Father's heart, and of His delight in us together. So the day after tomorrow, I will, if you let me, listen to you.